In our last episode, we discussed multi-layered meaning of word falaq. Today we will discuss the first word of this verse, that is, cool. Surah Al-Falaq does not begin with protection. It begins with a command. Cool, say. But why say? If Allah already knows what is inside your heart, why must you speak at all? Does Allah need to hear your voice? He already knows your fear before you feel it, your weakness before you admit it, and your problems before they even reach you. So why move the lips? Why push air from the lungs? Why produce sound? Why isn't silent belief enough? And here is something even stranger. The Quran tells us the entire universe itself came into existence with a command. Be. And it was. Creation begins with a command, and in this surah, protection also begins with a command. So what is so special about speaking? Why does Allah not simply say, seek refuge? Why does He say you seek refuge? And that is why one of the most powerful and often overlooked aspects of this surah is the very first word with which it begins, cool. This word is not stylistic decoration. Throughout the Quran, cool carries strong literary and rhetorical weight, and every time it appears, it serves a deliberate purpose. In the context of Surah Al-Falaq, cool is Allah commanding the human being to announce his weakness openly. He does not allow the servant to remain silent or inwardly hopeful, but commands him to speak, to verbalize, and to declare with his tongue that he is weak, helpless, and in need of protection from a power greater than himself. This is an act of humility. It is an admission of powerlessness, and it is something that the human ego strongly resists. There are people whose arrogance prevents them from asking for help openly. Even when they are desperate, they may whisper quietly in their hearts, or ask in a half-hearted way, because their pride does not allow them to admit need. Allah removes this false dignity by saying, cool, say it out loud. Do not hide your need. Do not disguise your dependence. By commanding cool, Allah strips the heart of arrogance and the false belief that one is self-sufficient. This sense of, I can manage on my own, is extremely dangerous. The Quran describes it clearly. No, indeed, the human being transgresses when he sees himself as self-sufficient. Believing that one does not need protection is not neutrality. It is a subtle form of shirk. It is treating oneself as independent of Allah. That is why Allah commands us to destroy this illusion publicly by declaring our need. This is also why Surah Al-Falaq comes immediately after Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas teaches us who Allah is. Surah Al-Falaq tests whether that belief is real. Claiming sincerity is easy. Demonstrating it through humility is not. This surah kills the ego. It does not allow pride to survive. The word cool is a command, and by obeying it, the servant is already proving obedience before asking for protection. You cannot sincerely seek Allah's help while disobeying Him. Seeking refuge itself is an act of submission. That is why the surah says, Rabbil-Falaq. The word Rabb necessitates mastery, authority, and ownership. A Rabb is not merely a helper, he is a master. And if he is your master, then seeking his protection requires obedience. Protection is not separated from worship, and refuge is not separated from obedience. This principle is demonstrated in the words of Prophet Musa when he said, I seek refuge in my Lord, and your Lord, from every arrogant one who does not believe in the day of account. This verse shows a deep truth. Arrogance is tied to weak belief in the hereafter. When a person does not truly believe he will be held accountable, pride grows and humility disappears. Such a person does not seek refuge sincerely because he does not feel answerable. So when Allah commands Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil-Falaq, He is saying, say it openly, say it sincerely, say it humbly, say it in obedience. O Allah, I abandon my pride, I abandon my illusions of strength, and I place myself completely under the protection of the Master of all emergence and all light. This single word, cool, transforms Surah Al-Falaq from a supplication into a declaration of lived Tawheed. But now the deeper question returns. Why speaking? Why must the words be said with the tongue? Why did Allah not say, believe it or feel it? Why did He say? Because the human being is not only a thinking creature, he is a speaking creature. Allah highlights this gift in the Quran. He taught him expression. Speech externalizes belief and turns inner faith into lived reality. When Allah created the universe, He created it with a command. Kun, be. Creation itself began with an expressed command, not a silent intention. This teaches a profound reality. In the Quranic worldview, words are not empty sounds. Words produce effects. Scientifically, sound is not nothing. Sound is energy moving through matter. When you speak, your vocal cords vibrate many times per second. Those vibrations push air molecules, which collide with other molecules, and a wave travels outward from your mouth. Every word you say physically moves the environment around you. Your speech is an organized wave of energy. Scientists demonstrate this in cymatics. When specific sound frequencies are passed through sand, powder, or water, the particles rearrange into precise geometric patterns. Change the frequency, and the pattern changes. The material remains the same, but vibration reorganizes it. Sound does not merely travel, sound organizes. Another demonstration is acoustic levitation, where sound waves suspend small objects in midair. Medicine also uses sound in ultrasound imaging. Doctors see inside the body through sound waves. Sound, therefore, is not symbolic. It has physical effect. The human body itself is largely water, and water responds strongly to vibration. Discussions exist about how different conditions or speech may affect water structure. While debated scientifically, they still illustrate an accepted fact. Vibration influences matter. The first place your words act is not the outside world. It is you. Your nervous system hears your own voice before anyone else. Your brain processes your spoken words as real input. When you speak, 3 loops occur simultaneously. You say it, you hear it, and your brain confirms it. Psychology calls this auditory feedback. Repeated negative speech weakens behavior. Structured spoken affirmation strengthens it. Islam established this through Decode. Decode is vocal alignment. When a believer repeatedly says, "A'udhu billah," fear decreases and reliance increases. Imagine 2 tuning forks of the same frequency. Strike one and the other vibrates without being touched because the frequencies match. Speech similarly tunes the human inner state. You are not creating reality. You are aligning yourself with it. Now the command, cool, becomes extraordinary. Allah does not need to hear your words. You need to become the one who says them. The act of saying "A'udhu" is already the beginning of protection because you have moved from self-reliance to God-reliance. The ego lives in silent independence. Humility appears in declaration. Think of a password. You may know it in your mind, but the door does not open until you enter it. Knowing is not enough. It must be expressed. Protection exists, but the servant must step into it. Cool. A'udhu bi Rabbil-Falaq is the password of refuge. Allah begins the surah not with protection, but with a sound. The servant's voice becomes the first act of surrender. The moment the tongue declares dependence, the illusion of independence collapses. Therefore, this single word, cool, is not merely an introduction. It is the doorway. It transforms Surah Al-Falaq from a recited supplication into lived Tawheed, and the believer, by speaking it, steps under the protection of the Lord of Daybreak.